All right, we have got a pair of breaks tonight. The first one is for some autographed baseballs from Onyx, the Preferred Players Edition. And after that, we're going to tear into some 2019 Gypsy Queen that just came out today. Before we get started ripping, though, we do have some information to go over. I know, right? The boring stuff, but it's useful. I like to think it is anyway. Okay, so first up there, feedback. Automated 100%. So anytime you leave positive feedback for me, you're going to instantly get positive feedback in return. And then, of course, the other message there is a big thank you. I do appreciate you bidding, breaking, chatting, hanging out with me, and all that stuff. We are looking now at breaks that are coming up over the course of the next few days. This stuff is already up and running on eBay. It's available for bidding, and we're going to be breaking it in the days ahead. Tomorrow night is an autographed basketball jersey from Gold Rush. We're going to do some Leaf Metal Sports Heroes in the jumbo format, which means 36 hits. That's just a hair under twice as many as the hobby case that we did the other night, which had 20 hits in it. Inception Baseball. It is going to be a 16-box case break. Then Panini Select Basketball. We haven't opened that in a while, but this is the first off-the-line variation, so we're going to do a little damage with that with a 6-box break on Thursday night. Friday night, we've got a new release again on Friday. It's a 16-box case of Panini Prism Draft Picks football. We're starting really early that night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. That also means, of course, that our auctions are ending much earlier than normal. Yeah, so look for them to end in the 6:45 to 7 o'clock, maybe 7:10 range, somewhere in there. The spots are sold by the first letter of the last name, and the mascot cards have their own bidding spot. Saturday, we're going to break Gypsy Queen again. It'll be the back half of the case that we start tonight. On Sunday, you can look for more Onyx Preferred Players autographed baseballs, a 7th and final case of Leaf Valiant baseball, and a 2nd case of Prism Draft Picks football. Getting a look at our 2019 rookies in that, of course. Then on Monday night, which will be the 1st of April, we're going to go with National Treasures football and Inception baseball, both by the full case. The info that you need to know for tonight, we've got 1 free shipping break, 1 paid shipping break. The free shipping break, of course, that's the autographed baseballs. And, you know, guys, anytime I have a free shipping break, I always project it to go out no later than a week from the break date. Now, a lot of times it goes sooner than that, but it just simply means it'll be on the way to you no later than Wednesday the 3rd. Also in that Onyx break, if your team is not the team that is pulled, I do have consolation cards that I send out to people when their team doesn't pull anything, and I keep track of that for 90 days. But usually on a free shipping break, like we have for the baseballs, I just hang on to the consolation cards and then I send them all out the next time you have a package shipping. If, however, you are in that free shipping break and you don't want to wait for your next package, you only need to drop me a line and let me know that. I will happily get it on the way to you sooner. Our paid shipping break tonight is Gypsy Queen Baseball. I'm projecting that will be, I think Thursday is the wrong date there, because that would be like tomorrow. So that is the wrong, I think the date part is right, the 30th, but the day part is wrong. I think that should say Saturday, right? Isn't Saturday the 30th? I think it is. I don't know. I think it is. Let's fix that, because that definitely not tomorrow. So let's try and fix that little typo. Anyway, Saturday, whether or not it's the 30th, it seems like I may have messed up the whole thing. But I'm guessing Gypsy Queen's going to be on the way to you roughly Saturday. If the week goes really well, it could possibly slide out a day earlier. If something goes off the rails, it could slide a day later, which would have it being out on Monday instead. But as it stands right now, I'm expecting it to be Saturday. Don't need to worry about consolation cards there. Every team is going to pull cards in the Gypsy Queen break. So once again, first out, 3-box inner case of 2019 Onyx Preferred Players autographed baseballs. This is break number 10. And of course, everything we're opening tonight ended tonight on eBay Wednesday night, the 27th of March. We have a few teams in here that were not on the checklist. Those are noted as no hits not listed. And we had a few teams in here that nobody bid on. Those are simply noted as no bids buyback. So obviously if something were to come out for a no bid team, it would just simply stay here with me. Otherwise, it's going to head out to one of you. And you probably noticed that your background went a bit out of focus just then, and actually still is because I'm fiddling with it. But that is, don't worry, we're going to be able to see everything. I just like to look at it up really close, and I don't like using autofocus. So that was the deal there. Let me get our handy Onyx checklist for this product, and then we are going to be ready to see what is inside. Find out what fabulous hits await us here. In the meantime, let's see who's in chat tonight. Bob is here, and Greg and Chad. All right, well, welcome everybody, Greg and Bob and Chad and anybody else who might be joining us and just doesn't happen to be in chat right now. Hi to you as well. All right, I think we've about accomplished this. Yeah, I learned that's the easiest way. Open both ends and just push them out one end. Otherwise, they tend to get stuck in there. So, Jay Allen's here. Hi, Jay Allen. What's happening in your part of the woods? Your neck of the woods today, down in the Carolinas. I think it's the Carolinas, right? I think that's right. All right, so of course this handy little paperwork is going to tell us who this ball actually has on it, but I like to look at it before we look at the paperwork because I don't know, I always try to guess from the signature, and I think I've maybe gotten 1 out of about 100 right. So see, like I would look at that and think, ooh, that could be Eloy, you know, maybe, but it probably won't be, but that's what I look at it and think. There's a JSA authentication, an Onyx authentication, and let's find out who it really is. Your JSA paper to match it, you notice it's kind of bent up. Well, that's because, you know, they put it in the box, a square box with a round ball, and that piece of paper gets bent. The Onyx certification to match its sticker. And the answer is Evan White. So see, I told you, I was wrong. Evan White is a Seattle Mariner. All right, so Mariners draw first blood tonight, if you will, with the Evan White autograph. I'll set him back there and see who's in box number 2. Oh, you're having sciatica? Jay Allen, I have never had that, but I have a friend who has had it and tells me it is just brutal. So I do not envy you that, my friend. That does not sound good. Well, we know exactly who that is. When's the last time you got one that was signed like that where you could actually read it? Huh? Like ages ago. Anyway, I like this kid. Recent draft pick, of course. JSA authenticated, Onyx authenticated, and Mr. Matthew Liberatore is a very nice hit for the Tampa Bay Rays. And there is, of course, our Onyx COA that tells it written out, the Onyx that will match the sticker, and then the JSA here that will go along. It's really bent, that one, but it goes along with it as well. So Matthew Liberatore is a very, I think a very nice hit. I think he's going to be pretty good. So as always with these recently drafted guys, it's a time will tell kind of scenario. Well, that wasn't even tied particularly. Our last one, yeah, I don't know that one. So I got lucky, right, that I knew the Matthew Liberatore. I don't know that one. An Onyx authentication sticker, a JSA authentication sticker, and let's find out who it is. There's your Onyx paperwork to match and your JSA equally bent up paperwork. And this tells us, oh, baby, look at that. How did I not recognize that signature? I think because I don't pay attention to the signatures when I pull the hits normally. That is Vlad Guerrero Jr., man. Let me tell you what, that is a smoking hot hit for the Toronto Blue Jays. And I bet you picked him up pretty good price tonight is my guess. I don't remember seeing any of the prices tonight that looked like they were super high. So all in all, a really nice case of balls in my opinion. But that is the highlight. So we'll recap it here. That is Evan White. And, of course, Evan White is on the checklist for the Mariners. So let me get, I'm going to label the top of these boxes here as we go. So that'll make it a little quicker when it comes time to ship. Matthew Liberatore is a Tampa Bay Ray. So whoever has the Blue Jays must not be on here tonight, because if they were, I think they would be like pretty happy with that Vlad Guerrero Jr., right? I mean, I would think that's a nice hit. Nobody's in there celebrating, so I'm going to say that probably, I said Tampa Bay Jays. See, that's what I get for talking while writing. Tampa Bay Rays. Let's try that again. Toronto Blue Jays, Vlad Guerrero Jr. That is an outstanding hit for Toronto, so congrats on that one tonight. Get him all safely tucked away and label it up. Let me stack it off to the side here, and then we're going to be rolling right on into Gypsy Queen. Get our spreadsheet set up here. Give me 1 second to get that done. All right, there we go. So yeah, that information was just up there. We just talked about it in some detail a short couple of minutes ago. So I'm not going to read it all off to you again. But if you, for some reason, jumped in late and you didn't see me talking about that earlier, or hear me, rather, talking about that earlier, please take a minute and read through the information there. Hit me up with any questions that you might have. So this is a 5-box break. Hang on a second. Sorry, I just realized I had something open there my broadcast software was screaming at me to close. All right, so 5 boxes of 2019 Topps Gypsy Queen Baseball. This is the half case break. It's break number 1. And, of course, it just released today, obviously ended today on eBay, and opening it tonight on release day, Wednesday the 27th of March. Same format, team names on the left-hand side. The winning bidders are across from each there on the right-hand side. And that's the news to use there. Jay Allen, you said you need the Oakland A's and Gypsy Queen. You're looking for a Ricky Henderson autograph. That's very specific. All right. I have my mojo work cut out for me then, don't I? I have my marching orders. Okay, so the way we do this when we're starting a new case, but not necessarily opening every box in the case, which is how it's obviously set up tonight, since we're only doing half the case. If I can manage to wiggle them all out of here, we're going to take every box out of the case. I will number each box on the end and then use random.org to determine which ones we open tonight versus which ones will be opened in the second break over the weekend. But man, they are seriously wedged in here. So, sorry, takes a minute. Get them all. Takes a minute to get them all pried loose. Of course, that's, you know, by design. They don't want them rolling around in that case. And believe you me, there's no room to be rolling around in there. All right. Let's get these little bad boys labeled, and we'll let random choose our boxes for us. And obviously whatever remains will just be the boxes that we'll be using in break number 2. So we got to head over to random to accomplish this task. This is simple. When we do random to determine boxes to open, I just simply type in the quantity. I hit random 1 single time. First 5 numbers will open those corresponding 5 boxes. So in this case, it gives us 9, 2, 8, 1, and 3. So 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9 in an order that I can actually remember. Right? Right. 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9 make up our 5 boxes that we're going to be opening. Let me get our other 5 back in their case, and we'll get cranking on this. So in Gypsy Queen, we are looking for a pair of autographed cards per box. In addition to that, we may find ourselves some variations. There are some in here. I got to think about this. There's Jackie Robinson Day variation, which of course, you know, that's the player wearing a jersey with Jackie Robinson's number 42 on it. There's the possibility of a Players Weekend where they're wearing the jerseys, you know, that'll have their nicknames and oftentimes kind of wild colors and that sort of thing. And the other one is a 4th of July variation. So whatever uniform they wore on the 4th. Some of those are kind of subtle, kind of hard to spot on the 4th of July variations. Some are easier than others. But it is an image variation nonetheless. And certainly if I would happen to go past it live, which is possible, you know, until I get accustomed to what our regular images look like, it's certainly possible I might not see it to call it live. If you see it, you're welcome to point it out to me. Otherwise, I'm sure I would find it when I'm sorting. But all the cards do ship, so you don't have to worry no matter what. If you see it go by, whatever it is, if it belongs to you, it's going to head your way. Jay Allen, you said you don't know why, but you have a Ricky Henderson feeling. All right, well, let's hope you're right. So our box topper has 3 chrome cards in it, which it's obviously taking me a minute to get out of there, but we have gotten them out eventually. I like the fact that we've got the chrome cards in here. You know, in the past we've had some of the oversized cards and things. Kind of digging on these. I like these. So that's Runed there for the Rangers. And then for the Oakland A's, you have Matt Olson. And our 3rd chrome is headed to the Indians with Jose Ramirez. So there's our box topper chrome cards out of box number 1. So as always, with a set that has this many base cards, we spend as much time getting things out of wrappers as we do anything else. The other variation that can be in here are the logo swaps, where instead of having the little, you know, GQ logo down at the bottom, which is what you would customarily find, some of them will have the logo swapped out and have the little gypsy's face down there instead. And I don't know if we have the black and white parallels this year. You know, in past years we have had those in Gypsy Queen, but I don't really remember seeing those on the marketing list. So I don't know if they did away with our black and white parallels this year or not in here. Of course, there's 1-of-1 versions. You know, that's always a possibility as well. All right, let's stop and look at some of what we've got here. Okay, so for the most part, we are going to kind of buzz through stuff at a pretty good little clip. And once again, I do realize that there could possibly be variations going by that I'm not seeing. That looks like, could that be a 4th of July, or is that just what his uniform looks like? I'm trying to see if it's got a 2293. Let me just check there. No, it's the same. It's not. It's the same code as the rest of them. I did just want to double check. Takes me a minute to get used to them as well, guys and gals, when I am first getting a look at them. Jay Allen, you said you've had those kind of feelings before, like you have your hunch about Ricky Henderson, and you're right about half the time. Well, I mean, you know, that's not too shabby. If you're right half the time, I would say that's pretty good. by my estimation. Fortune teller, Yelich, and the Brewers. We'll find a fair amount of those as we go along. There's another fortune teller, Chris Bryant and the Cubbies. And our first hit makes an appearance, and it's a nice one. It is Jose Altuve coming out for the Astros. And it happens to be numbered to 30. And I need to get a thicker card sleeve for that one, so let's get a few of those on the table so we can get Mr. Jose Altuve properly settled in his sleeve there. So I like starting off the break that way. A relic and autograph to 30. Pretty solid. A solid start. Okay, that's so we've got one of our two hits. We still have one somewhere waiting for us in these other packs to find yet out of this box. Yeah, J. Allen, I agree with you. The Altuve is a nice hit. You can always find some good stuff in Gypsy Queen. It's a product that's always a lot of fun to open, and you can get some amazing things out of it on any given day. Some years, of course, you know, depending on who the rookies are, some years it's hard to get into Gypsy Queen breaks. They fill, you know, and sell really high. This year, since we don't really have anybody super on the radar yet, I mean, there are obviously some guys we expect to be good, but some insert with the tarot parallels. But there's not, like, you know, there's not, for instance, the Shohei Ohtani like we had last year where everybody's going crazy. A fortune teller Verlander for the Astros. But nonetheless, I'm sure that before it's all said and done, we'll end up having some hot rookies out of this early class, and we'll go back and think, man, why didn't we save some of that Gypsy Queen? You like the design? I love the design of Gypsy Queen. It's frankly, Gypsy Queen, even though they have a lot of base cards, which, you know, I tend to not like as much because it's just a lot to break and sort. But I adore Gypsy Queen. It's one of the brands that I look forward to every year. I like the look of the cards. I like the feel of the cards. It's just kind of a basic set where you don't have to worry about 9,000 parallels. I mean, there's a handful of options you can pull, and the hits are usually good. I enjoy Gypsy Queen a lot. That was Juan Soto, fortune teller. So I do generally look forward to this one every year. The White Sox. There's our second hit out of box number 1 with Kopech and the White Sox. But yeah, the design is very cool, and it has that very, you know, throwback feel to it. It's nicely done, and I like the chrome cards being the box topper. You know, I liked the oversized ones that you could get to. They were called Gypsy Queen Glassworks, but those large box toppers, they're just kind of hard to find anything to do with, you know, when you get them. If you collect, like, where do you store them? They're 5x7s, and you don't have a lot of options to store and display them, so I kind of prefer the chrome cards like we see this year. Well, that's looking like it should be numbered, isn't it? That's because it is numbered to 250. For the Texas Rangers, it's Joey Gallo. And another one of our tarot inserts. That one is the Wheel of Fortune card with Shohei. That's kind of cool. And we're going to have a numbered Jake Lamb. That is also, of course, to 250 for the Diamondbacks. So maybe we'll have our black and white parallels this year. I don't remember seeing it on the sell sheet, but we certainly have always had it in years past. And there's Puig as a Cincinnati Red. You know I like that on the tarot insert. Although I dare say I'm afraid to get my hopes up too awfully much for my Reds. Even though we've got some guys, I'm calling them rentals, but we got some guys on rental anyway. And I think a lot of them will probably go in free agency, or we'll trade them ahead of that, because they're all on, most of those guys are on one-year contracts. But I don't know. I'm hopeful for a better season for my poor Reds this year. That's all. Oh, Bob, the last autograph was for the White Sox. It was Kopech, however you say it. Anyway, of course, you know we recap at the end of the break, too. So you get another shot at looking at it at that point. Those are wanting to stick together on us. It's Cody Bellinger for the Dodgers. And we definitely, there's a very definitive curvature, as we've come to expect on cards with chrome coatings, and this doesn't surprise me. We got a little bit of that going on here tonight as well. And our next chrome is the White Sox with Jose Abreu, and this little bad boy is a refractor, so thinking that's probably going to be numbered. What do you think? It's for the Astros, Carlos Correa, and it is numbered to 50. So, hey, I like that. Oh, Will jumped in there too. Thank you, Will. You know, I never know. Sometimes these people are watching and maybe they have the volume down, so they ask the question and I hear it and like say it out loud, but then if they have the volume down, obviously they don't know I've answered it. So sometimes I think that happens. So I always appreciate when those of you who are in chat are willing to jump in and also answer it that way. So thank you, Will, for helping Bob out and answering that. Yeah, so the first couple of breaks of this we're going to do is half case, and somewhere along the way we'll probably do this as a full case a little bit farther down the line. But I wanted to kind of get a feel for how long it was going to take to open it by the half and how long it's going to take to sort, more importantly, by the half. And then if it looks doable, we might switch over to a full case break the next time out. I just want to check that one. Nope, same as, so I guess we don't have, not an image variation on that one after all. And we have an autograph hit that is also going to be numbered, I believe. It's Carson Kelly for the St. Louis Cardinals. And it happens to be numbered to 150. So the Cardinals off to a nice start there. Oh, Brandon, you're talking about the Braves from last night. Holy Moses. That was quite something, wasn't it? Like, can you even believe? So what he's talking about, guys, Brandon is referring to a case of Inception that we broke last night. And in that case of Inception, I'll tell you in a minute what was in there. You're gonna be crazy. So this is Bryce Wilson. It's for the Atlanta Braves, speaking of the Braves, and it's our second autograph hit out of box number 2 here. So yeah, the Braves last night hit an Acuna silver signings to 60, and then a couple of boxes later, we hit an Acuna autograph patch, 1/1. Yeah, right? With part of the tomahawk was the relic. It was incredible. I think they had some other hits in there too. I can't even remember what else the Braves might have had in there. But to hit 2 Acuñas in one case and one of them to be the 1/1, I mean, come on. That was so awesome. It's another fortune teller. That one's Arenado. Yeah, that was and that case of Inception in general was really good last night. You know, usually in a case you might find, you know, 1 orange parallel, something like that. We found multiple. We had 2 or 3 orange parallels. We had a lot of really strong stuff in Inception last night. Brandon, you were bidding on it, and then you gave up at the last second. Oh, I know. See, then you shouldn't watch the break after that. Of course, if you got other teams, you had to, but yeah, because I've done that. I've been there. And then watch exactly what I was chasing come out of the box, and it's maddening. I always want to go back and kick myself, like, why didn't I spend that extra $5 to win that bid or whatever? But of course, really, you don't know how much more it would have cost to win it because we don't ever know what the other person's max was anyway. But yeah, those can be rough. I feel you on that. Can be a little tough to deal with. All righty. Of course, everything else we see through here, we're looking for inserts, numbers, parallels. We've already pulled our autographs out of this box. Another tarot card. The Magician for Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers, appropriately enough on that one. There's another tarot. King of Wands for Aguilar and the Brewers. A fortune teller for the Astros with Jose Altuve. Nick, you said, I would like Delilah give you some advice. Are you talking about the lady who does like a nighttime radio show or something? Someone has told me that before, that I sound like Delilah at night. Someone's also told me that I sound like a weather girl, like a stewardess. I thought weather girl was interesting in particular. Weather girl, stewardess, Delilah at night. There's another one. I can't remember what the other one was. There's another one, though, too. But, hey, I'll happily dispense some completely, wildly ineffective, inappropriate advice if you tell me what the question is. I will gladly just spew out some kind of crazy something or another just for the heck of it, and we'll see what happens. Oh, yeah, see, Brandon, right? I know. You should not ever go back and watch them when you get outbid on them if you don't have other teams in there. Oh, no, never go back and watch them. It's terrible. But I'm exactly the same way that you are, in that I think, oh, I've got to watch it. I've got to know if I missed out on anything, because then if nothing good is pulled, then you get that kind of little woohoo feeling. You know what I mean? Urias and the Padres. You get that little feeling like, oh, thank goodness, I didn't keep bidding and I made a good decision. And you get that little kind of happy feeling. But then on the other hand, oh, something good comes out, you get a very sad feeling. That was a tarot Shohei Ohtani. That might be Players Weekend. What do you think? It's so hard to tell. I don't know if it is or not. But perhaps it is, maybe. That looks like not a regular jersey. I'm going to say that might be a Players Weekend, but I'm not 1,000% sure about that. I've got to break it and handle it and look at them a few more times before I'm going to easily spot the variations. There is Albert Pujols, and it is the Angels, numbered to 250. Jay Allen, don't you get anybody started on the ex-wife scenario, man. Yes, for those of you who might be new to the breaks, Jay Allen is referencing somebody who said that I sounded like their, I can't remember if it was ex-wife or wife, but whatever it was, said my voice apparently reminded them of whatever it was, wife or ex-wife. And so they found that horribly offensive. And instead of just like simply not breaking again or turning the volume down or, you know, muting it, whatever, instead they came in and like started harassing me on another break. So I muted them. You know, by this time, this was after the first break, and where they had complained, and they'd already gotten their cards, and their cards were fine, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, carrying on still about my voice, how horrible it was. And then, so I muted them when they came back the second time into chat, because they had no teams in the break. They were just watching it. Who knows why? Like, if it annoys you that much, why are you coming back and watching it just for fun? I don't know. So then after I muted them in the YouTube chat, blocked them in the YouTube chat, whatever you want to call it, then they went into eBay, and not only, you know, they had already left me like negative or neutral feedback about the voice. Then they went in and filed a case. This is, now mind you, they've had their cards like 2 weeks at this point. Filed a case, said it was not as described, and, you know, forced a refund, all because of that. So that's what Jay Allen is referencing. That's Syndergaard and the Mets for, again, our Chrome box toppers. Mookie Betts and the Boston Red Sox come up next. And then behind that, another Boston Red Sox with Rafael Devers. But, you know, I mean, it's just so interesting to me. I had some other guy in here complaining a while back, not too long ago, a few weeks ago, you know, basically writing in there, why won't I ever shut up? And I'm thinking, well, A, it's my break. So, like, if you don't like it, why are you watching it? Or turn it down or mute it. And secondly, if you consider sports, you would certainly think someone would be used to having a person talk throughout because, well, let's think about it. That's exactly what announcers do. They talk throughout football games, basketball games, baseball games, hockey games, golf matches. I mean, you name it, that's what they do. They talk. So how are you, like, being offended by someone talking through a card break? I don't know, but people are weird. Jay Allen, you said you can't watch if you lose your luck, you would have the tea. What? I am so confused, Jay Allen. What does that say? You said I can't watch. Oh, you can't watch if you. I got you. You can't watch the break if you lose your teams. I got you. I got you. Because then it, yeah, makes you crazy if you see a lot of stuff coming out. No, I get that. Totally, I get that. Yeah, yeah, Brandon. Brandon brings up another good point. See, you guys remind me of all these. I'm just going to be generous here and call them interesting people that show up from time to time. Jacob deGrom and the Mets fortune tellers. Brandon's talking to me about, he's referencing a guy who came in and participated in a break for Leaf Best of Basketball or Best of Football, one of the two. I can't remember which, maybe Best of Basketball. But anyway, needless to say, he didn't hit what he wanted. And, of course, you know, it's a team break, right? And there's different kinds of breaks. There's player breaks, and there's hits breaks, and there's all kinds of breaks. But you know what you're buying when you buy into it, obviously. Chance Adams makes an appearance for the New York Yankees. Not numbered, but nice hit for the Yankees. So, you know, the guy had bought into, obviously, a team break. And then his teams didn't hit, or not all of them did anyway. So he gets kind of crazy in chat and gets really aggressive and starts talking about how that product should never be sold by team breaks. And, you know, basically like, what are you doing? You should always list these as hits drafts, and your customers don't like what you're doing. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, like, this is the first time you've ever bid with me, and what are you even going on about? So yeah, that's what the one Brandon's talking about. Gypsy Queen, Max Scherzer, and the Nationals. I didn't really engage very much with him. I addressed his questions once or twice and then let it go because it was clear he was on a bit of a tear. But he kept on with you guys back and forth in chat for quite some period of time. And then, you don't even know this part, Brandon, then after that, he sent me a series of emails saying the exact same thing, just arguing with me that, you know, I should not ever sell my breaks as team breaks and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, come on, man, you knew what you were buying into. But anyway, what are you going to do? This is just crazy. Yes, Jay Allen, right. I mean, that's the guy. The guy is, it's, but here's the thing about it. Had I been a mail breaker, I guarantee you nothing would have been said in that instance. I mean, the guy wouldn't have been telling a mail breaker, this is what you need to do. You don't know what you're doing. I guarantee you. Nor would you have somebody coming in and telling a mail breaker to, quote unquote, you know, shut up, or that you don't like their voice and all the other interesting things that get said to me. Now, not all of them, certainly. There's plenty of things that are said to me that aren't motivated by that. But there's plenty that are. I mean, one guy didn't hit, got mad about something because he didn't hit in a random, and then, you know, starts off on this rant. Well, that's what you get with a female breaker. They don't know what they're doing. Fortune teller Javi Baez and the Cubs. So, you know, it's crazy. But there's always going to be people that like it and people that don't. And, oh, well, you just got to go on. Got to go on about your way. Can't do much about it, you know. That's a little throwback uniform, isn't it? Of course, we don't technically have throwback, quote unquote, in this set, not like we do in Heritage. Wheel of Fortune, that was Arenado for the Rockies. But yeah, over the years, I tell you, you can collect some really interesting people. And by collect, I just mean you remember them, like Jay Allen and Brandon are pointing out. I try to forget about them, but sometimes they do rear their ugly heads again. I shouldn't say rear their ugly heads. I don't know. You know, I don't mean that literally. It's just a phrase, you know. It reared its ugly head in reference to whatever. You know, it's specific to those people. A logo swap. There's our little gypsy down there for Rowdy Tellez. Finally up in the majors for the Toronto Blue Jays. It only took about, what seems like 100 years for Rowdy Tellez to actually make it up and get himself a rookie card. Obviously, it didn't really take that long, but it feels like it. It feels like we've had Rowdy Tellez for, I don't know, a couple thousand years that we've been waiting for him. That's how it feels. So, all in all, I'm giving high marks to Gypsy Queen so far. They changed the color a little bit. You know, in the past it's been, I want to say maybe a slightly more borderline white ivory. This is more of a warmer kind of beigey gold on the border. I think I prefer it. It's just a little, it's got a little more pop to it than some of the past years' designs. But as a whole, the design is often very similar for Gypsy Queen. One of the things we like about it. And there's a King of Wands again, another fortune teller card. Yeah, I think we could probably, depending on how long the sort takes, it might be doable to break this by the full case. Going, not obviously right away, because we've already got it listed as half cases on some other stuff. Colby Allard comes out for the Atlanta Braves. Braves sold pretty inexpensively tonight as well. So I think probably one or two hits, probably one hit and you're even with the Braves tonight. Diaz for the Mets with a nice little fortune teller. We're about to see a numbered card here. And that's for the New York Mets. It's numbered to 250 with Jeff McNeil. Oops, come on out of there now. Somebody trying to hang out down there on the bottom. Trying to get in our way. Not cooperate. Shohei Ohtani fortune teller, or not fortune teller, sorry, tarot insert. Not fortune teller insert on that one. Brandon said, thanks for the Braves hits, but you need your Acuna. You're mourning the loss of him last night. You gotta have a replacement tonight. I don't know, man. It might be hard mojo to get back-to-back nights with one Acuna's, but hey, I'm willing to give it a go. We'll see what happens. Maybe we can make it work. You never know. Yeah, Brandon, I was surprised at the Braves going that low, too. I mean, even though, you know, kind of almost no matter who's on the checklist, I would have thought they would have sold a little more than what they went for tonight. But in general, I thought teams went low tonight. Lower than you would expect typically for Gypsy Queen. But, yeah, that happens sometimes on release night. A lot of people breaking it. Chris Sale and the Giants. Followed by Zach Greinke and the D-backs. And a refractor for the Red Sox. That's going to be numbered, of course, and it is to 150 with Xander Bogaerts. So it's the refractor and the green parallel together, collectively. Our other refractor was, I guess, was the gold parallel that was to 50, I think, right? Brandon says he thinks I can do it. He thinks I can pull one Acuna's in back-to-back nights. Maybe. I mean, hey, stranger things have happened, right? I'm definitely gonna give it my best shot, for sure. So I'm excited to get to opening day, but I got to tell you, I was not happy to see what's already happening in Cincinnati. I mean, in the preseason, we talked about this a little bit the other night. Scooter Gennett, you know, strains or tears, pulls, whatever he did to his groin muscle, he's out for a few months. So I'm thinking, well, we know they're going to keep Nick Senzel down for at least first couple weeks after opening day because they're trying to manipulate his service time. Then he gets injured again. I mean, that guy has been injured so much in his minor league career. This doesn't appear to be a super major injury, but nonetheless, now he's got to be held down no matter. Service time doesn't even come into play at this point. So by the time he gets healed up, we will have already slid somebody in there at second base, and they're probably going to try to stick that kid in center field eventually, which is just stupid. And I just feel like, oh no, how can we be going already down into this terrible wasteland when the season hasn't even officially started yet? My poor Reds, my poor Reds, what is happening? So I don't know. I mean, I'm glad we're going to get the season underway, and hopefully it's going to be a little better one, but I'm not sure that it is. The black and white parallel lives on. Yay. Andrew Benintendi to 50 for the Red Sox. And that is our very first, well, that sleeve is not cooperating. Let's get a new one. It's our very first black and white. So happy to see that make an appearance. Not happy that every time I turn around, these cards are changing directions out of this particular little group here. Ooh, a redemption. Oh, I caught it though, right? I don't think you got a chance to see it yet, did you? You might have, but I didn't. So yeah, with redemptions, I typically leave them face down, and we flip them over at the very end of the break, which we're almost at the end of the break anyway. And I forgot to say last box mojo, but maybe that redemption, maybe that's going to be our mojo, do you think? Maybe, possibly. Chops 97 is here. Chop says that was a nice Red Sox chrome box topper, the Xander Bogarts, the green to 150. Bryce Harper, he's still a national on this card, and he's numbered to 250. You know, they print these things in advance, so it'll take them a series or two to get us caught up to the Phillies uniform and logo. Next release ought to have it, I would think. Generally speaking. A King of Swords, Giancarlo Stanton for the New York Yankees. Oh, yeah, next to last box. Yeah, see, what am I doing? I'm thinking it's the last one because I've got this. It, like, blends in back there. It's so thinking, wow, we got through this really fast if we're already on the last box. Yeah, right on. Freddie Freeman, Atlanta Braves. So I didn't forget it after all. We're next to last box. I would have eventually figured that out when I would have been going, wait a minute, our number of hits isn't right. Where's our other box? Oh, I tell you. I did that the other day, not with the box blending into the background like this, but I had started sorting a break for shipping, and I got a phone call in the middle of it, and I had to get up. What required me to get up and go look something up and answer, help somebody out, answer some questions, help my dad with something on the phone, and then came back like 20 minutes later to get back to what I was doing. And for some reason, I hadn't remembered that I had already packed away somebody who had bid on, we have multiple breaks each night, and this was somebody who had bid on other breaks that night. So I had already taken their cards from the break I was sorting and put them in an envelope with their name on it and set it with the next group of cards from that same night that were going to be, sorted next, because they were all in the same invoice. Well, anyway, I somehow had forgotten that, and so I'm looking at what's on the table, and I'm thinking, I'm missing a hit. I don't know what I've done with it. I know I've seen it. I just saw it. Where is it? Like, I know it's here. It was a graded card, and I knew for sure that I had it, but I couldn't find it. So I'm like going crazy. I'm looking everywhere, thinking, did I set it down? Did I have it in my hand when I was on the phone? It took me like 5 minutes before it hit me, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. I put it with his, the next group of stuff that he's got cards in. So, see, I hate when I get interrupted when I'm sorting. It makes me crazy because stuff like that happens. You lose your train of thought, and then I go all kinds of weird places in my head. But fortunately, it doesn't happen very often, but it certainly did throw me for a loop earlier this week for about a minute. Actually, about 5. Jake Bauers autograph. Tampa Bay Rays. Yeah, I don't know why suddenly they're going in different directions. We haven't had that all night long, and now we do. I don't know, weird. No? We'll flip them until it doesn't make sense. That's a Craig Kimbrell Tarot Exit, it's called. Oh, now we got one flipped backwards. Why is Will Myers flipped backwards, do you suppose? Is there something going on with the Will Myers that we should know about? I don't know. Sometimes when they're flipped around backwards, it's indicative of something. We'll set it aside in case I need to go back and give it a little better once over. Let's see what else I can find about it. A Gypsy Queen, Aaronola, or fortune teller, sorry. They're all Gypsy Queen. A fortune teller, Aaronola. I feel a fortune teller on the back of the stack. I'm going to grab it. It's Aaron Judge, New York Yankees. So how's everybody think it shapes up this year? I mean, looks to me like the Phillies ought to obviously have a better year. I think it's still too soon for the Padres, even though Machado is obviously a nice addition and their farm system is crazy good. I think the Padres are still 1 or 2 years away from making a big splash. And everybody kind of otherwise looks like about the same. Blake Snell, Tampa Bay Rays, fortune teller. And by that I mean the same in their ability, or as the case may be, inability to possibly reach the playoffs or the World Series. Ozzie Albies and the Braves. And of course we don't have anything to go by other than who's come up so far and, you know, how the trades went in the off season, but looks like all the usual suspects again. All right, there's our redemption that we haven't looked at yet. It stays right there in the housekeeping area. Now we're actually on Last Box Mojo, officially. Brandon says he feels pretty sure that the Braves will win the East again. Yeah, I mean, it just, you know, I haven't seen anybody make any really significant additions or subtractions. I mean, obviously, you know, some change in roster for the Dodgers because they won't have Manny for this run, and the Red Sox changed a few people up and made some things. But I do think Bryce with the Phillies ought to make more of a somewhat immediate impact, but I want to see how that all flows. I want to see how everybody fits together on the Phillies first. The Texas Rangers. That had a lot of curve on it. Joey Gallo. They like to argue with you going in the sleeves when they have a lot of curvature to them, too. Red Sox, Xander Bogaerts. And we have ourselves another refractor. Oh, ho, ho. It's Shohei Ohtani. How about that, kids? To 150 for the Angels. That's a nice little box topper hit for the Angels. All right, so Jay Allen, you're on it. You're with me. Last Box Mojo. Let's do it. Let's bring out the fire. It's got to be hiding in here somewhere. We would think, we would hope. I'll be interested to see what the chrome box toppers do price-wise, resale-wise, you know. I would think they would do pretty well. I would think they would do better than the oversized box toppers that we've had in past years. And not for nothing, probably easier and cheaper for Topps to produce too, I would think. Chops, your son opened a box topper tonight and he got a Reese Hoskins red refractor to 5. Very nice. That's Chops, that's great. I don't know how old your son was, but regardless of his age, I bet he was pretty excited. Unless he was real young, and then, he might not have understood the significance of the to five. But yeah, I bet he was pretty happy. You too, I would expect. A fortune teller, Acuna for the Braves. Jay Allen, you say you don't like your chrome cards to have curves, only your ladies. Yeah, I know. I wish they didn't have the curvature aspect, but I do love the chrome cards, and if the little curving is the trade-off, I could live with it. Black and white to 50 for the Tigers. Miguel Cabrera. Oh, he's 7? Okay, cool. Yeah, he would. That's old enough to know then that you got something pretty cool there. So, well, awesome. Edwin Diaz and the Mets had a tarot card there. Xander Bogaerts, Red Sox. I always think it's great when kids open stuff and pull something really cool because, well, I mean, you remember what that's like when we were kids, and we didn't have autographs, at least when I was a kid. Autographs and things weren't around. We were still buying them with the sticks of gum stuck in the back, leaving big stains on the back of your cards. Rafael Iglesias, Cincinnati Reds. I like that my Reds made an appearance here and got a hit. Maybe that's going to be a good omen. You think? Maybe? For opening day? Maybe? Excuse me. When you're a kid to get something and, you're not so much, I mean, I guess you are somewhat thinking about the value of it, but not in the same way we think about it as an adult. Kyle Tucker and the Astros fortune teller. For kids, it's just more about the pure joy of hitting something cool or the player they like or whatever. So I'm always happy when young people pull good stuff. Brandon says they need to put Chipper back in. Jay Allen says, no, they do not need to put Chipper back in. Well, he just said no, but he typed it right below that. So I'm thinking he means no, he doesn't want to see Chipper Jones. You don't want any Braves. He's interested only in the Oakland A's tonight. Well, I don't blame you, man. That's your team you've got in here. That's where you got to roll with it. Oh, Chops, you remember chasing Mark McGwire and Ken Griffey Jr. rookies? Cool. Yeah, I mean, that was the fun of it. That's the fun of it. And that was the chase then. I mean, we weren't looking for autographs and relics, nor were there boxes of cards that were $1,500 and had 5 cards in them, like Flawless. Yeah, we didn't have that kind of stuff when we were kids. You went down to the corner, whatever. It might have been gas station, drugstore, whatever. Lots of places carried them and paid your quarter or whatever and got your little pack of cards complete with cardboard tasting gum. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Last Box Mojo has worked again. You don't know it yet. That's the bad news. I'm making you wait until the end. But yeah, Last Box Mojo is about to deliver to us right now, again, in a minute. Edwin Encarnacion for the Mariners. And isn't that kind of weird? I mean, all right, let's just talk about that for a minute. How many times do we say Last Box Mojo? And I don't know what's in any given box any more than anybody else does. But how many times when we say Last Box Mojo do we end up pulling like some of the best stuff out of the break out of the last box? Kind of a crazy amount of the time, right? I mean, I'm not just dreaming that, I don't think. Chris Davis and the A's. It seems like at least half the time, probably more than half the time, we pull something really cool out of Last Box Mojo. I thought that Derek Jeter might be something or another. That's another one I'm gonna set aside and look into it a little bit further after the break and see what else I could learn about it. Then we have ourselves another Xander Bogaerts. This one is numbered to 250. Brandon's like, what is it? What is it? You have to tell us. No, you have to wait. You have to wait. I don't know who the player is yet. I just know it's something good. I could tell by the pack. I could tell when I felt it. It was the last pack that I picked up. So that ought to give you a clue that I could tell by feeling the pack that it was going to be something a little out of the ordinary. And it's going to be, oops, there's a logo swap, and it's going to be hopefully a big name player. We'll find out. Zach Wheeler is our logo swap for the Mets. See, I'm kind of like, I'm digging it. I want to get back there and see exactly who it is, too. Brandon says, ooh, I kind of maybe see something setting back there. Maybe. Oh, your grandmother owned a convenience store, so she would order boxes of cards and just let you bust them all? Dang, son, if that had been my grandmother, I would have put my grandmother out of business, probably. I'd be like, order everything. Gleyber Torres for the Yankees fortune teller. Yeah, I probably, boy, if I could have just had, like, here it is, go at it, I would have definitely done that. Okay, so here it comes, here comes the Last Box Mojo. Because look what it is. It's a booklet. It's a patch card book. Now you think, oh, well, big deal. These are hard to pull in Gypsy Queen, kids. They are hard to pull. And it is number 220. Woohoo! Kansas City Royals. How about that? Little patch card booklet, Whit Merrifield to 20. You can't tell me you don't love that. I mean, that's just awesome. That's just awesome. And they are hard to hit. Booklets are not easy in Gypsy Queen. Sometimes there have been years I've opened cases and bunches of cases and never found a booklet. Other years, we do find them. Obviously, we just found that one. So cool. Now, obviously cooler if you have, the Royals. Makes you happier than if you don't. But all I could tell from feeling the pack was that it was going to be a booklet. So that is a nice, really nice hit there for Kansas City. All right, so let me get a few things setting up here that we are going to be recapping momentarily. But look what else we have to do. A redemption. I wonder who's going to be in our redemption. It is a mystery redemption. The plot thickens. See, I knew there was a category I forgot to list. That was it. Mystery redemption. And it is mystery redemption autograph black and white parallel. So it's going to be pretty awesome. Numbered to 50, whoever ends up on it. But guess what? Since we don't know where it goes, that means each and every one of you fine friends have another chance at a hit. Because yes, indeed, that's going out by way of random. Random.org is going to make a decision for us. So here's how it works. I'm going to copy all the team names from the spreadsheet. I'm bringing you along with me, so you're seeing this as it happens. And then we're going to roll ourselves back over here to random where we were earlier. But this time, we're going to paste in our team list. I'll scroll through it so you can see that all the teams are in there. Because there are 10 or more items in this list, I'm going to hit random one time. And whatever team ends up in the number 1 position after I hit random is going to get that little mystery redemption right there. So, okay, here you go, kids. Good luck, everybody. It comes up the Diamondbacks. Dang, that's crazy. The Diamondbacks probably sold for like $4 or something. Yeah, well, okay, there you go. That is that's why you have to buy every team, right? That's why all teams have a shot at something. And the Diamondbacks end up with arguably one of the better hits in the break, because this will probably be somebody good when they announce who it is. So how about that? That's a nice ROI if you have Arizona tonight. Yeah, Jay Allen, I don't know. I mean, that's random for you. Sometimes they stay in the same spot, and sometimes they move around, but you can see, of course, everybody else, moved around on there, and it's obviously got a date and time stamp and all that jazz, so I don't know. I have done randoms before where, well, Jay Allen knows this. Maybe not everybody knows this. But when I have 9 or fewer items in a list, I do random 3 times. First 2 don't count. Third one makes the decision. When we have 10 or more, we do random only once. Well, on one of the times where we had fewer and we did random 3 times, and I think we had 3 items in the list, none of them moved from the way they were typed in the whole 3 times. They stayed exactly the same each random. It was crazy. But it does weird stuff sometimes. Okay, who has the Diamondbacks? I don't know who has the Diamondbacks. Hang on a minute. I'll put it back up here and show you. I don't know who has it. There we go. So, right there. J Hump 4114 has the D-backs. And you know that I do not do a good job of remembering everybody's eBay name tied to their YouTube name tied to their real name. So all I can tell you is what it said right there. Okay, so our mystery redemption autograph black and white parallel is headed to the Arizona Diamondbacks by way of random. So Diamondbacks, really nice return on investment for you. We'll take a quick spin through our box toppers. We had a few that were numbered. Shohei there is numbered to 150 for the Angels. And then we had, that one is not numbered. I thought I had all my numbered stuff there at the top, but I guess I don't. So let's redo that. There's another numbered one, and it's Carlos Correa, numbered to 50 with the gold parallel. And a Xander Bogaerts for the Red Sox to 150. Now, the rest of our box toppers here are not numbered, and we can just take a quick little spin through them, because I figure you guys are probably interested in that, right? I want to know who came out in the box toppers when we recap. Here are some of our other parallels. That's a logo swap for Rowdy Tellez, and a logo slop. Why do I keep saying slop? Logo swap for Zach Wheeler. What is wrong with me tonight? And Xander Bogaerts numbered to 250, a black and white Miggy to 50 for Detroit. There's Bryce Harper as still the Nationals, numbered to 250. Andrew Benintendi, black and white parallel to 50, Red Sox. The Mets with Jeff McNeil to 250. And there's Albert Pujols for the Angels to 250. There comes Mr. Lamb for the Diamondbacks to 250. And then Joey Gallo and the Rangers to 250. All right, looking at our hits again. The booklet here is just really awesome, especially on our first break. I love it when we hit good stuff right off the bat. That is numbered to 20, Whit Merrifield for the Kansas City Royals. Excellent relic. You've got the 2 little pictures on the side, hard signed autograph. I love hitting booklets in Gypsy Queen. So nice hit, Kansas City. Cincinnati Reds, Iglesias, Jake Bowers for the Tampa Bay Rays, Colby Allard for the Braves, Chance Adams for the Yankees. A little Bryce Wilson action came out there for the Atlanta Braves. Grayson Kelly for the Cardinals, numbered to 150. The White Sox with Michael Kopech. And we also had this. This was actually a really good half case. I forgot we even had this. So Jose Altuve for the Astros with an autograph and a relic, and it is numbered to 30. So yeah, it's a really good half case. Can't wait to see what comes up in the next half of it. Okay, so that's the break for tonight. That's the recap for tonight. But what I will do here, for those of you who might have missed it earlier, if you want to take another pass, we'll take a look once again at what's going to be breaking in the days ahead and your shipping info. So Gypsy Queen should be on the way to you, I believe, by Saturday. If everything goes super well, it might get out a day early. If something goes off the rails, it could possibly slide to Monday. I expect it to be on the way probably Saturday. And, of course, the autographed baseball's on the way to you no later than Wednesday a week from today. The free shipping stuff just kind of goes when I have the extra time to fit it in. It often goes sooner, but won't be any later than that. Consolation cards you don't worry about for Gypsy Queen. If you didn't hit in the Onyx Preferred Players, your consolation usually is going to be held until your next package goes because it is a free shipping break. But if you want it sooner, let me know. Happy to do it. Once again, our breaks that are coming up here in the next few days. Tomorrow night, an autographed basketball jersey, Leaf Metal Sports Heroes in the jumbo format. 36 hits, almost twice as many as we had the other night in our hobby case. A case of Inception Baseball, and a half case of Select Basketball First Off the Line. So we're going to be busy tomorrow night. We have a lot to open tomorrow night, but it's going to be so much fun. Friday night, we are starting super, super early, guys. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. I got to get my March Madness on. But Panini Prism Draft Picks Football releases that day, so I didn't want you to miss the chance to break it. So we're still going to do it. It's just going to be early. And look for the auctions to end somewhere in the 6:45 to probably 7 or 7:10 range. Saturday, we're going to open the back half of this case of Gypsy Queen that we started tonight. Sunday, we'll open more Onyx Preferred Players autographed baseballs. We'll open our final case of Leaf Valiant baseball and a second case of Panini Prism Draft Picks football. Getting a look at those 2019 guys. Then on Monday, National Treasures football. I think that might be my last case of it, too. I got to double check that, but that might be the last case of it. And Inception Baseball again on Monday night as well. So that is the news to use for the upcoming. And yeah, I guess that is it for me tonight. And thank you once again, everyone, for joining me. Appreciate always you being here, bidding, breaking, and chatting with me. I will be back at it tomorrow night. If I don't see you then, I hope to see you again sometime soon. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your week and get ready to get your March Madness on. Starts up again tomorrow night. Woohoo! See you next time. Bye now.